The Collector. In the quiet town of Black Hollow, the murders began without warning. Victims disappeared 4 days, only to reappear in their own homes, seated at dinner tables or tucked into beds, posed as if still alive. But their bodies told another story. Skin carved with precision, their faces frozen in terror. Detective Laura Grayson had seen horrors in her 20 years on the force. But this was different. There was something methodical, almost reverent, about the way the killer worked. No fingerprints, no DNA, just a single calling card left at each scene. A small figurine carved from bone, its features grotesque and mocking. The media dubbed the killer the Collector. After months of dead ends, a break finally came. A hiker stumbled upon an abandoned cabin deep in the woods. Inside, Laura and her team found shelves lined with jars of teeth, locks of hair, and the unmistakable carvings of bone figurines. It was a gallery of the dead, but what chilled Laura most wasn't the trophies. It was the diary they found on the table. The entries weren't the ramblings of a madman. They were eloquent, thoughtful. Each described the killer's rationale for choosing their victims. The teacher who tormented students, the businessman who bankrupted families, the nurse who neglected her patients. Every life taken was, in the killer's mind, a correction, a brutal form of justice. One entry, dated a week earlier, read, "The detective will come. She follows her own rules, hides her own sins. But she understands why I do this. She see the truth." Laura's hands trembled as she read it. The words cut deep, not because they were wrong, but because they were uncomfortably close to the truth. She'd bent the law before, covered up her own mistakes that had cost lives. That night, Laura sat alone in her apartment, the diary on her lap. She felt the weight of her own guilt pressing down. She tried to sleep, but dreams of hollow eyes and bone figurines haunted her. When she awoke, a small object sat on her bedside table, a figurine, carved in her likeness, its expression one of quiet judgment. The message was clear. The Collector wasn't finished, and Laura wondered if, in the end, she might agree with their verdict.